The law cannot make you, it can only mar you. There are a lot of causes in the law. So the law cannot build you up. The law can only pull you down. It cannot build you up, but it can only pull you down. So there is nothing good in the law. There is nothing at all good in the law. Apostle Paul said to the Christians at Rome in Romans chapter 3 verse 19 to 20. Now we know that what things soever the law saith is said to them who are under the law, that every mouth may be stopped, and all the world may become guilty before God. That every mouth may be stopped, and all the world may become guilty before God. Therefore, by the deeds of the law, there shall no flesh be justified in his sight, for by the law is the knowledge of sin. So the law makes every mouth to be silent. The law makes every mouth silent before the God of the kingdom. So the law will keep your mouth shut in this world and in the realm of the spirit. The law cannot make you to express the instinct that lies within you. It cannot make you to express the instinct that is within you. You have a particular ability within you. So the law cannot make you to reveal your ability, to express your ability and manifest your potentials in this world. So the law will always kill ability. It says that every mouth may be stopped and all the world may become guilty before God. So you cannot stand before the Father on the platform of law. You cannot stand before the Father. So the law was removed so that you can stand before the Father. Because the law is a wall of limitation between humanity and divinity. So humanity cannot access divinity as long as the law is present in the universe. So in verse 20, it says, therefore, by the deeds of the law, there shall no flesh be justified in the sight of God. For by the law is the knowledge of sin. So no one will be declared righteous by observing the law. No one will be declared righteous by observing the law. You cannot access the righteousness of God by the law. And you cannot receive the righteousness of God by the law. You can only receive the righteousness of God by grace, not the law. Because by the law is the consciousness of sin. By the law is the knowledge of sin. So through the law we become conscious of our sin. We become so conscious of our sin and forget the grace of God. You have to be conscious of the righteousness of God that is in you, not the sin and not the law. So the law will make you to be conscious of your sin, not the righteousness of God. But glory be to God, Christ has removed the law. He has broken down the middle wall of partition that is between man and God. So man can access God and we can receive the righteousness of God. So therefore, in this current dispensation, we can stand before God, we can stand before our fellow men, and we can stand before devil and resist the devil. In Romans chapter 4 verse 15, yes Lord, Romans chapter 4 verse 15, Apostle Paul said, because the law worketh wrath, for where no law is, there is no transgression. Because the law worketh wrath, the law brings wrath, and the law will always bring wrath. For where no law is, there is no transgression. Because Christ has removed the law, sin has been rendered powerless. So sin has no power over you. You can control sin. Sin has no power over you. Sin has been rendered powerless. And peradventure you fall into sin, you are to ask for forgiveness. Because the sin has no power over you. The sin cannot destroy you. Unlike the old dispensation, wherever you fall into sin, you face the consequence immediately. But in this current dispensation, wherever you fall into sin, the grace is available for you to ask for forgiveness. So the sin cannot destroy you. There is no repercussion. For where no law is, there is no transgression. So we are under the dispensation of grace, not under the dispensation of the law. So in Romans chapter 5 verse 20, it says, moreover, the law entered, that the offense might abound. But where sin abounded, grace did much more abound. Where sin abounded, grace did much more abound. So the grace is more than the sin. And the grace is more than the law. So the law always makes the sin to be powerful. But currently we are in the dispensation of grace. The law has been destroyed. The law has no power over us. And the sin has no power over us. So we are in the dispensation of the grace. Grace is our power. That is why Paul said, for I am not ashamed of the gospel of Christ, for it is the power of God unto salvation. So the gospel of Christ is the gospel of grace, not the gospel of the law. It is not the gospel of the law that will reveal sin. It is the gospel of grace that will destroy the law. So the sin is powerless. It has no power over us. The sin has no power over the church. So the church is the kingdom of grace, not the kingdom of the law. So we've been freed from the curse of the law. Hallelujah. In Romans chapter 7 verse 11, it says, for sin, taking occasion by the commandment, deceived me, and by it slew me. And by it slew me. So through the law, the sin is powerful and the sin can kill. Through the law, the sin is powerful. The sin becomes powerful and the sin can kill. So the law can sentence the sinner to death by the instrumentality of his sin. But by virtue of this current dispensation of grace and the mystery of grace that is at work in the church, we've been delivered from the power of death. So death has no power over us because sin has been rendered powerless and the law has been removed. Hallelujah.